we are to be utterly shocked by what happens in this chapter. This Levite has not treated his concubine, this lady, well. Again, concubine is not the correct way that God's law governed concubines, but it was because of their hardness of heart. One man, one woman, Jesus makes clear in the New Testament that is what is to be the case. And now we see just a horrendous treatment of this woman. The Levite, with his servant and with his concubine, has stayed in a city of Benjamin. They're staying in the middle of the city, expecting somebody to come and take them and lodge them. And an old man was coming in from his work in the field. And this man was from the hill country of Ephraim. He lifted up his eyes and he saw the traveler. He saw the Levite with his concubine and his servant. And he said, "Where do you come from?" And they said, "We're passing from Bethlehem in Judea to the remotest parts of the hill country of Ephraim, from which I come. I went to Bethlehem in Judah, and I'm going to the house of the Lord. But no one has taken me into his house. We have straw and feed. We have everything we need, but nobody's brought me into their house." This is going to be a rehearsal of what happened in Sodom when the angels came into the city to get Lot and to bring him out. And so this old man said, "Peace be to you. I will care for all your wants." No, he does. He attempts to, but it does not go well for them at all. So he brought him into his house and gave the donkeys feed, and they washed their feet and ate and drank. So we think this would be an okay situation. But as they were making their hearts merry, it is worth uh, thinking about how often this Levite is drinking and partying. And he's doing it yet again. He did it many times with the concubine's father, and now he's doing it again. And then worthless fellows are coming to the door, just like they did when Lot took the two angels into his house. Of course, Lot didn't know that they were the two angels. If only this Levite was an angel, they would have been spared. But they go into the house, and then these worthless fellows say, "Bring out the man who came into your house that we may know him." They want to uh, do explicit sexual things with this man. So they say, "Bring him out to us." And then the man of the house said, "No, my brothers, do not act so wickedly. Since this man has come into my house, do not do this vile thing. This is a terrible thing for you to do." And then he says, "Would just take my virgin daughter and his concubine." Again, something very similar to what Lot was offering to do. Uh, we've seen how degraded the people of Israel have become. We've seen how degraded the spiritual leadership is. And so they say, the old man says, "Let me bring them out now, violate them, and do to them what seems good to you." Horrendous, terrible. But then the men would not listen to him. So the man, that being the Levite, seized his concubine and made her go out to them. Not the daughter. He just makes his own concubine. He is terrible to her, and terrible to her in her lifetime, and also terrible to her in her death as well, as we will see that happens. And so they abused her all night until morning. And as the dawn began to break, they let her go. And as morning appeared, the woman came and fell down at the door of the man's house where her master was until it was light. This is terrible. And she's going to die on the threshold of this door after being abused all night long. And her master rose up in the morning, not her husband, but her master. The phrasing is supposed to be so cold, it's supposed to make you feel horrendous. He opened the door of the house and went out to go on his way. There's no care and compassion. It's just like he's going out and he sees her on the threshold. This is not normal. This is psychopathic. Behold, there was his concubine lying at the door of the house with her hands on the threshold. And then he says to her, "Get up, let's be going." Is this really the way he's going to respond? But there was no answer because she was dead. But then he takes her to his house. He takes a knife, takes hold of his concubine, and he divides her limb by limb into 12 pieces and sends her throughout the territory of Israel, dishonoring her using her as a way to get the other tribes to come and attack the the tribe of Benjamin. There's no mourning, there's no grief. This is terrible. This is how far the people of Israel have come. They're supposed to come into the promised land. They're supposed to be coming into the land flowing with milk and honey. And here's what they're doing. Here's what their spiritual leaders are doing. It is supposed to make us sick. A horrid event. Let's avoid sin. Let's avoid it at the very beginning of it before it turns into something terrible. I hope that has been a help to you, and I'll see you in the next video.